with you.
Hey, so glad you came back. So, you're watching this right now, okay, but this has actually been a couple weeks in the making, okay? Today we're going to be making some Ranch Handler's Delight. And you might say, what is a Ranch Handler's Delight? Well, it's cowboy candy, okay? Real simple. Candied jalapeños and carrots in this case, okay? It's pretty spicy, even though it's a jalapeno, but it's really, really sweet as well. And it also is going to have a nice little crisp bite to it, the way I do, okay? So hold on tight, throw your chaps on, your spurred boots. Let's get to making some Ranch Handler's Delight. Hey, this is Shrashira. That's the best elevator music I ever heard. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I already washed and peeled the carrots. Okay, just get these guys here, sliced up, cutting the ends off, so we don't need those. But what I'm going to be doing is just making little rings. And I'm cutting them diagonal. About 1/8 to 1/4 inch. That's all you need. That's what size we're looking for. And these are going to go in with the jalapenos. Now you can cut them long ways if you want. It's up to you. You know how you want to do this. But for me, I like doing it this way. Okay, so these guys go in. The last bits I just make medallions out of. So you can get like a little spicy carrot. Alright, now let's start working on the jalapenos. Now for me, I like to slice my jalapenos up first before I wash them. I don't know, I've always done that. So we're going to cut the ends off. So we don't need the tips. And you want to go about 1/8 of an inch. Oh, try to run away. 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch slices. And I have here 3 pounds of jalapenos. So we got 3 pounds. And the carrots, we're looking about for 1.5 cups of carrots total that we cut up. And when I do these jalapenos, I'm going to let them soak in the water for about 15 minutes before I do anything with them. We're going to make sure they're nice and clean. And then also, how sometimes you cut a pepper and it's all black and messed up in the inside? This way you can see it before you start really getting into your cook. And you can address it right away. So I'm going to do the rest of these, and I'll be back. All right, so we have our cleaned jalapenos, 3 pounds, sliced up. We have our carrots sliced up. Now the carrots are optional. Let's be clear about that. It's optional. We have 4 cups of sugar, 2 3/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, teaspoon of cayenne pepper, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of mustard powder, tablespoon of granulated garlic, and 2 tablespoons of turmeric. And we're going to put all this in the pot and get it percolating. Let's do that right now. All right, the heat's on. First thing we're going to do is add our vinegar. Get our vinegar in there. Right, we're going to need that. Add our salt, our cayenne, and our mustard powder, and our turmeric. Yep, excellent. Add our granulated garlic. Now let's get this whisked in. Get it mixed in before we add our sugar. And I have the heat at medium right now. Now let's add our sugar. All of it. Yep. That's right. Now we're going to mix this until the sugar dissolves. And this is basically a seasoned simple syrup. So we want to get this going. And you want to watch it. You want to bring it to the boil. And we're actually going to let this boil for like 5 minutes. So as you can see, it's starting to bubble up, trying to get away. So you want to mix up. Now you got to watch it. Right? We're going to take the top off and we're going to keep an eye on it. And we're going to let this go for 5 minutes. And then we're going to add our jalapenos. Now you know when you're boiling, sugars, whether it be sauces or whatever, simple syrups, you have to watch it. Because if you don't watch it, like you just saw, the bubbling of that, or like I like to call it that lava effect, it starts to rise and it will overflow. Even though you think you have room, it will overflow because it'll keep growing. Right? See how it's starting to build? Right? So what we're going to do, we're going to stir it. Constantly stir it to break up the bubbles. Break up that lava. So this is not where you want to walk away. Because if you walk away, you're going to have a bad day. See that? I stopped stirring. Look at it. Coming back. So about 3.5 minutes, we'll introduce the jalapenos. Now, in case you haven't watched any of my other videos, when you see the bubbles coming up like this, right, it's starting to swell, what that is the water evaporating, okay? Very dangerous stuff. See how quick this is going up? You gotta watch it. You have to have time to do this recipe, right? And it's not a lot of time. Like this particular part is 5 minutes. The next part is gonna be about 5 minutes. But you wanna watch it because you don't want it to overflow and mess up your entire cook. You don't want to do that, right? So now, see, I'm mixing it to break up the bubbles, to calm down that lava effect. Now we're going to add our jalapenos. Let's slowly add these guys in, all 3 pounds, going in. And because these are colder than the liquid that's in the pot, the bubbles are going to calm down. But what we want to do is get this back up to a boil. Now once it comes up to a boil, we're going to let this cook for about 4 minutes. Now I want these seeds. I want all the seeds. Give me the seeds. Don't play with me. And now we're going to let this go because these are going to kind of wilt down a little bit, but we want to stir it up. Okay, make sure all of the jalapenos are coated with this syrup. Now, what we want to do, we want to make sure, stir this up, mix it up, make sure all the jalapenos, get this syrup, get that seasoned syrup on them. And we're bringing this up to a boil. Now I'm going to put the lid on to kind of speed this up a little bit. But if you do that like I'm doing, be careful. We just talked about the overflow. In other words, do not walk away. The last thing you want to do is walk away. Remember, you heard it here first. Do not walk away. Watch it. Every minute or so, stir it up. But you watch this, okay? It might not take a minute. You might have to stir it early, but you watch it. Now this is sitting here percolating, and as it's going through its paces, once it comes up to a boil, we're gonna let it boil. Well, when it comes up to a boil, we're gonna turn it down to medium low to low and let it simmer for 5 minutes. And then we're gonna turn the heat off and start putting it in the jars. But as it cooks for those minutes, look at this guy. It's gonna change colors. Okay, it's gonna get to more of a dark olive color, and that's what you want. Right? Yep. Make sure everything gets coated in that syrup during this part. Right? Make sure all the seeds are in there. Get it in there good. Yep, get a good one. Press it down, and as you see, they're starting to soften up, so I'm able to push these guys down more, which is good. Can't wait for this to start boiling. Now, while the jalapenos are brewing, basically stewing, if you will, I have my big 32 quart seafood pot. It has the jars inside of it. The water's hot. I wanted to make sure it was sterilized and warm. You gotta have the jars have to be, warm at least. Because if you take those jars when they go to the canning process, you fill them up, right? And you add a cold jar into hot water, guess what happens? It breaks. It cracks, splits, explodes on you. So, to avoid that, as I'm heating up the water, the jars are in there, okay? So I'm not sure if I showed you guys that. I probably didn't, because I got a lot of irons in the fire, so I'm doing a lot of stuff right now, but that's what we're doing. So let's get back to jalapenos. So as you can see, it's boiling now. Now, we want to start the 5-minute clock. At this point, again, I'm just moving this around. Make sure everybody gets the syrup. It's very important. And actually at this point, I'm not even going to cover it because it's going to go quick. So now I'm going to turn it down to medium low low. You know what? Yeah, medium low low, and we'll let this go for 5 minutes. See you in 5 minutes. All right, these are done. Turn the heat off. Now let's get the bottles ready. Now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, the jars are now ready. Now what I'm gonna add to the jars is this. Now what this is, it's kind of, think of it like a pickle crisp, right? But this is a crisping agent where if you have like dill pickles, they're in the bottle, they have that nice crunch. This will help preserve that crunch if that's what you're looking for. And I don't want the jalapenos to be totally soggy. I want them to have a little bit of bite to them. So I'm going to be adding about 1/8 of a teaspoon to each one of these jars just to be safe, right? So let's do that. All right, we're going to start off with like 6 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now we're going to add about 3 carrots to each one of these. And the carrots I didn't cook, so they're going to have a nice little crunch to them. Now we're going to add our jalapenos. So we have our slotted spoon, because right now we don't want all that juice. We just want the jalapenos in there for now. I'm not sure how many of these jars is going to fill because it varies every time. Depends on how you cut it. Okay, next one. The cool part is, if you fill up a small amount, you can add more carrots. I like that. And while I'm filling these, the water pot, I got the fire back on it, so it's getting hot again. And you notice I'm not bringing the jar to me, I'm moving the ladle to the jar because those jars are hot. I'm not trying to get burned up for y'all. Well, it looks like I might only get 4, maybe 5 containers out of 3 pounds of jalapenos. But that's fine. That is okay. Yeah, we're looking at about 4 maybe. Then once you press them down, which we're going to be doing here pretty soon. We don't have that many left. This is cool, because now we can add more carrot. I'm a big fan of that. Let's get some more carrot in here. All right, so it looks like I consolidated it down to 3 jars. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill these up. So we're roughly about a quarter away from the top. And now what we want to do is take our bubbler and we just want to push the sides and just push it down to just free up some of that air that's trapped in there. Okay, you want to do that. Air is not good in this situation, so when you do that, you'll see you can actually add more liquid, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Right? Now we want to wipe the edge so we can get a good seal. Right? Get it all nice and wiped around, because this stuff is sticky like you wouldn't believe. So we want to wipe that edge. Now, we want to take our lid, put it right on. Right on. And now let me get the rings. Now the rings, you only want to put them on finger tight. You don't want to, torque them down. If you do, you won't get a good seal. Right, so that's finger tight. And now we're going to add these back to the water bath. Alright, so you can see, here's my big pot. It's at a good rolling boil. And we want to add these bad boys right back to it. Be careful. This is going to be hot. And we want to let these guys stay here for 10 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to let these go for about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and then we're going to take them out so they can rest. Yeah, and it's going to be a long rest. All right, now we're going to take these bad boys out, turns up. I'm going to sit these here, and as they cool, if it has a good seal, you're going to hear a pop. I don't know if I'm getting on camera, but we'll see. know there's water on top. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. He's going to sit here. Now you want these to sit and cool for 24 hours, and then we're going to stage them. Okay, now these are going to sit for 24 hours, right? So they cool down. Technically, you can eat them at that point, but what you want to do is at a minimum, put them in a nice, dark, cool place, right? For 2 weeks, minimum, right? If the seal is good, you'll know it's good because you'll hear like a little pop as it's cooling down. If it's good, it doesn't have to be refrigerated until you open it. And you don't have to open it for a year. Okay? That's how canning works. The way the vinegars and stuff works, a year. So it can just sit in your cabinet for a year. You open it, right? Put it in the fridge. It'll chill out in the fridge for a couple of months. You'll be good to go. Okay? So, we're going to sit this 24 hours, and then I'm going to move it. Well, the way my stuff is set up, I'm going to move it to the salon because it's the coolest place in the house. And since the peanut gallery is not really here, all my girls and stuff, it's going to be the darkest place in the house. So, and we're going to let that sit for a couple weeks minimum, and then we're going to try it out. Now, I do have some in the fridge that's just chilling, but I'm not going to taste that for a few weeks. See you in a couple weeks. All right, now it's been over 24 hours, right? So we want to check the seals just to make sure that it's properly sealed. So we know we got a good packing situation here, right? A good canning situation. So let's check this out. All right, so what we want to do is you look at the seal. I took the ring off, right? See, it's not going anywhere. See that? It's a good seal on this guy. This guy has a good seal. Okay? Put the ring back on this guy. It's good to go. Check the next one. Right? It's another good seal. Another good seal. Good stuff. Alright. Now the last one. Take the ring off. Yep, good seal. That's what we want. Good to go. Alright, so see you in 2 weeks. Alright, so it's been about 10 days, okay? And we're going to check out our Ranch Handler's Delight. So we're going to taste some. I had some in the fridge that I didn't jar up. I didn't seal completely. So I'm going to taste this, see what we got. So let's say a bite. Crunchy, spicy, sweet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So delicious. There we have it. Ranch Handler's Delight. Cowboy candy. These jalapeños, carrots, can be delicious. If you like this recipe, hey, try it out, right? And let me know what you think. Put some comments down below. If you're not already subscribed, hey, join the peanut gallery. Hey, subscribe. Join up. You know, our arms are open and we'll leave a light on for you. Also, if you could share me out. And if we're not connected on Instagram, hey, put my name in there. Look for the gray cat and let's connect. That being said, this Shrashira, because it's about to get spicy.